Welcome to the Beesies.
I'm Abby.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Jenny.
And I'm Mackenzie.
Remember the college days when you were best friends with your roommates?
We would come home and talk about anything and everything together.
We miss this phase so much that we decided we needed this quality roommate time again.
So welcome to the Beesies. Come over and get cozy with your new favorite roommates.
Did I tell you that Andrew, we were mini golfing and Andrew found a frog and picked it up and like brought it over to me and Atlas and kind of just like really threw it in my face. It was like, look at this, gosh. Atlas, it's a cool frog. It was a huge like
Ew,
toad, like this big.
Absolutely not. Jail.
I was just like, ugh, gross. He's just like playing with it. I mean, Atlas thought it was fun, but I was like, ugh, no.
Like, I actually don't think this is fun, though.
Yeah.
I'm not having a good time.
I wasn't really, like, in the mindset to, like, pick up an animal like this just out of nowhere. It was, like, hanging out by the rocks on the edge near the water. I don't know. It was wild. I don't trust guys because they pick up animals from the wild and they just don't leave them in their homes. Why do we have to go bug searching, insect searching, like all of that? Anyways.
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I don't want a frog in my face, that's for sure.
Like, he tells me stories of how when he was in high school, him and his friends would go out to the desert and, like, catch rattlesnakes. I'm like, why does that sound like fun? That's not fun.
Yes, Scott had, like, a rattlesnake skin that they, like, took on his mission or something. I'm like, no.
That's weird.
We're not doing that. It's gross.
That's so weird.
Yeah, Derek and his friends would go hunting for rabbits one time.
To eat or just once? To look at, or why?
But they didn't find. No, they went out with knives.
Oh my gosh.
Like, why a rabbit? That did nothing to you.
It was more to dress up. But they
wanted to play
weapons.
the part.
Interesting.
But they didn't find any.
Have you guys ever been hunting?
No.
Oh my God, I could never.
I went once in high school. We went dove hunting. It was awful. I cried.
Oh, birds, I think I wouldn't care as much about. But like,
it wasn't like terrible, but I was definitely purposely missing a couple times.
Yeah. I could do the clay pigeons. I could do that.
Yeah, that's fun.
That could be fun, you know?
It's hard.
Because it's more about like
fun,
shooting a target for me. I don't care. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to actually shoot an animal. I've only ever like gone shooting though, maybe twice in my life. So it's not a normal hobby of mine.
I haven't been in so long.
It actually
I used to go a lot growing up.
makes me really scared. Yeah. I know a lot of people who did.
Yeah, I went during girls' camp. They would throw like balloons in the air, I think, and then you have to shoot it.
See, that's fun. That's kind of fun. I can be down with that. My most prized moments, like ever, I'm so proud of myself for this crazy moment. It was nothing of my doing, but on Trek we went shooting, and they had targets, and I had lost my contacts, so I couldn't wear my contacts while I was on Trek, like for half the time. This was one of those days, and I was shooting. And I shot a bullseye. I still have the target. I shot a bullseye completely blind, which is why I'm saying it was not any skill.
That's
was me
crazy,
just
though.
pointing and hoping for the best. And everybody was like, oh, Abby, you got it. That's awesome. And I was like, what? Like, you got it. And I was like, okay, cool. I had no idea until the moment I walked up to the target. And I was like, I got a bullseye.
Crazy,
like,
actually.
straight in the center. It was amazing.
You're like closing your eyes, spinning around.
My
You
intuition.
shoot someone.
Yeah.
Like, you got one.
Yeah, that actually sounds like so sketchy to like not be looking, but obviously they made it like safe.
Yeah, I mean, I
just,
was
wild.
looking, but everything is like
yeah.
I have very, very bad vision, so it's like blobs, colorful blobs. Like there is no like markings of anything that I could see, but I'm like, I know the general direction of where to go. So
For some reason, I thought you said you were blindfolded.
no, I was blind.
I was like, dang. Okay.
I lost
just
my
blind.
contacts. And just blind.
I was like, wow, that's wild that they would do that for an activity.
Just like for fun, let's just shoot a blindfold,
They're like,
spin her around a
let's see
couple
if you
times.
can let the spirit guide you.
Like a pin the tail on the donkey type of vibe.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, not at all actually, just a random tangent. My sister-in-law texted me last week and sent me a picture. She was flying home from, I think, Mexico, and the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was on her
No
flight.
way.
The whole, like everybody?
That's hilarious because
Yeah.
I've been seeing tweets. A lot of people on that flight like took pictures with them and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, she sent me a picture of them. Just of Heather and Whitney. Yeah.
They were together.
Heather looks
Different.
so different. She
Yeah.
looks great.
In what way?
I mean, she always looks good. I think she has lost a little bit of weight.
She was on Ozempic.
Oh, is
Yeah.
yeah.
Ozempic.
And she kind of looks like she has veneers.
Yeah, no, that's what I was noticing too. Like, she looks like she got a little work done, but she also just like, obviously they were just coming home from Mexico too. She was just like glowing in general. But she was telling me that they were talking to someone that was at the resort with them, and they were saying how they were so obnoxious and like just it really like took away from their trip, and they had a brunch that lasted like 4 hours long, and
It's so crazy.
they would like a bunch of families started leaving because they were just like yelling a bunch of profanities, and that the producers would like yell cut, and then they would stop, move cameras, get different angles, and then like start going again. I'm like,
Yeah.
that is so wild. Not surprising.
That is
That's
so
so
crazy.
funny.
I have seen so many tweets about this flight about and like that same thing that like once the producers would call cut, they would go back to normal, just chatting it up, and then like once it's action again, they're like, "F you!" And
Yeah.
also, apparently, Mary called Lisa's son. He's like 12 or something. The R word. And you could see on the flight, Mary was sitting, she wasn't sitting with any of the cast.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
That's so bad.
I mean, she rightfully got iced out, but that could have happened in Mexico. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I'm surprised. That's crazy. I
Bring
can't
back
wait for
Monica.
this season.
Bring back Monica. Those
I
fights
have
won't be as staged if Monica's there.
That's true, actually. That is what I have such a hard time with, is like with Real Housewives, I just have to forget that like it is so staged.
Yeah.
And like, because Monica would just piss me off just because she like wouldn't listen to anyone. She would just like get so angry so quick. And it's like the whole miscommunication trope, and how we were like, that's annoying in books. That's how I felt with Monica. So that's why I had a hard time watching her. But she did bring a level of like entertainment that some of the other girls don't. So
And they genuinely don't like her, so it's like you're gonna get some genuine fights.
exactly. Yes. So anyways, I
Food
was
for
like,
thought, Andy Cohen.
crazy. Yeah, I would love to be on a flight with them.
Oh my god, that'd be
That would be so much fun.
I would die. Yeah.
I'd love to be
She, like,
sitting
sent me a
like
picture
right
and I was
behind them or in front of them, especially,
Oh,
so that I
totally,
could
the whole
hear
time.
whatever they were talking about.
Yeah. So we just have to always take first class so that we can potentially be by a housewife.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah. Anyways, those are my thoughts from the week. How are y'all doing?
I'm chilling.
My other
Good.
thought this week, I didn't know if Kenzie was. You looked like you were gonna say something, so I was waiting for you.
No.
You know, it's festival season, and like Coachella and Stagecoach have been like all this month. There's other festivals going on. And I just like this month, I struggle so much because I want to be a festival girly so bad. Like, I forget that these things exist until I see them. And then I'm like, ugh, I wish I could be there. It just looks so
Yeah.
much fun.
I also forget that like real people go and it's not just influencers.
Yeah.
Like I think Ty French was just talking about this, basically saying like everyone hates on Coachella because they're like, oh, it's just an influencer event. And he's like, if you go, that is not it. Like a lot of the influencers actually don't even go.
They just
They're
go
there
to
for
take
content.
pictures.
They're there for the houses. Yeah. And he's like, 99% of the people there are not influencers. Like it's people just going to genuinely enjoy this. But of course, what you're seeing is all the influencer content. And so that's how it's going to appear online.
Yeah. And the event is huge.
Totally.
Like
Huge.
6 stages, like ginormous. The amount, I don't think I could comprehend how many people go. You know?
Did you guys go to in high school? Abby, you may have already been in college. I'm trying to remember. I think it was our senior year, Kenzie, the Chipotle Festival. Do you guys
No,
remember
remember
but my
hearing
that?
about
sister
it.
did.
The only time I don't know much about it or like how often it happened or anything, but I went once and it got shut down like an hour into it. And because I think it was like about to start raining or something, but it definitely seemed like they could have kept going. But I'm pretty sure they gave us all like free Chipotle while we were leaving, which is like, okay,
That's
sounds
dope.
great.
Yeah, that's what I heard, that they gave you free Chipotle there.
That's my only experience with like a festival.
Yeah.
Like
Like
it
I've
was
gone
like not a festival.
Yeah, I've gone to like a couple random ones that are very small and it's like one person. Like obviously I went to the March Madness Festival a couple weekends ago. I went to like U of A would have random music festivals
For Spring Fling.
for
and
Spring
stuff.
Fling
Oh,
and then for like
true.
their opening day. Do you remember when T-Pain was supposed to come to U of A?
I don't know if we were. I think that was maybe your freshman.
Okay, I thought that was
I
maybe my
don't.
sophomore year, but it could have been my freshman year. T-Pain was supposed to
That's
come
wild,
and
though.
perform, and everybody
I
was
love T-Pain.
psyched
It's
about
great.
it, but then it got rained out, and so then it just got canceled.
I think our freshman year, Brittany. I think like We the Kings went.
Yeah,
Oh, I
they
think
were
you're
at
right.
they were at Spring
Yeah,
Fling.
yeah. They
Yeah.
totally were.
And I went to
Which I'm like, I feel like that's kind of like big. I
Yeah.
don't know.
for
Yeah.
a college campus. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
totally.
Like for a
That's
free
how I feel.
concert for college students.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's
then
kinda
I
crazy.
went to Devil Palooza, which was like at ASU, and it was my freshman year. My friend was a freshman, and it was Hunter Hayes, and she knew I liked him,
yeah.
and so
I
we went
remember you going to
together.
that.
That was so much fun. So like I've gone to a couple here and there, and I love it, and it just makes me want more. So
Yeah.
that's why when I watch the Coachella live streams, and I'm just like, oh, if I was there, I would be thriving.
Yeah.
I like watching the Coachella live streams. I will be 100% honest. Nothing about festivals sounds appealing to me. I like being in an arena where I can
Yeah.
sit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's
Get
one
it.
of my favorite things to do during a concert is sit.
I agree. I love to sit.
I can go grab a Diet Coke and some nachos and just sit my ass down.
Kenzie, I'm pretty sure you're the one who taught me the beauty in stadium nachos.
Yeah.
Because you would always get them at football games, and I was like, I should start doing that. And now
Yeah.
I can't go to like any event that's at a stadium and not get nachos.
And back in the day when I used to eat meat, like the hot dogs were also.
Yeah, I love a good.
You catch me at a
love a
baseball
good
game,
stadium hot
you
dog.
will catch me with a hot dog. Did you get
you guys
nachos
ever-
at the Eras tour, Brittany?
We did.
I am trying to remember.
You had time
think
to
I
get
did.
nachos even though you were like running so late, Kenzie.
No, Derek went.
He
and
always
got
prioritizes
nachos.
nachos.
Bless Derek. He really.
I think he went
saves
during
us.
like Evermore folklore.
Yeah. You know what? I'm pretty sure we had pizza because we got there like 3 hours early.
Oh,
We
wow.
got there so early.
That's
Maybe
amazing.
2. But I remember like it was very early
Mm-hmm.
that we got there. So I do remember getting pizza, and I remember having a churro that was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
The pizza
Okay.
was great.
I have something to say about churros.
Okay.
So Delicious right now is selling churro fries That might be the best churro I've ever had, and I think it's better than Disney's.
Oh.
And I'm gonna say something else. I
fries?
think
That's a hot
Disney's
take.
churros are similar, if not the same level as Costco churros.
I
I'll
think they're
admit,
literally the same.
Disney's like churros, they're a good thing to get, but they're not like these are the best churros in the entire world. Like,
Yeah.
For some
No,
reason,
I'm
back
pretty
when I was in high school,
sure-
I thought they were like amazing. But then
Yeah.
I don't know. I think in college, like I would eat at Costco so much because it was so cheap.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The more churros you have, you realize they're all the same.
yeah.
I'm 99% positive that Costco literally uses the exact same brand as Disney.
I believe it.
As in, actually
conspiracy.
100% positive.
I believe it.
No, I think it's like confirmed on the internet.
Love it.
Yeah. Like it's like 100% real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only difference is they they shape them a little differently.
Yeah.
Costco's is almost like a braid kind of.
Yeah. Oh, I would love a churro right now. I love
But
a
yeah,
churro.
go to Sodalicious and get their churro fries and tell me what you think.
Good
That
to know.
sounds so yummy.
The only thing I think Disney outdoes everybody on in the entire world is their pickles. That's what I think.
Okay, I've been getting some of like the mini dill pickles from, I guess, kosher, but they're like bigger than kosher ones. Anyways, from Trader Joe's, and they've been so yummy lately.
Pickles are the best.
So, now I'm hungry. Now that we've talked about food for 10 minutes. Sorry, what were you going to say?
When I love the fruit stand at Disney, I got a pickle, and when you buy their mango slices, they give you lime and tahini. And I'm like, that's
Ooh.
great. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's almost worth like kind of it being like overpriced because it's not just mango spears. It's
Yeah.
lime and tahini
Yeah.
as well.
That's
That's
kinda
in
nice.
Adventureland you're talking about? The little market stand in Adventureland?
I think so.
Maybe?
Yeah, they
That's
have those.
what I
They have a couple of those little stands that do like the fruit
One
and
last
all
thing
the
about
things.
Disney. Honestly, we need to apologize to Disney adults because, like, I kind of hopped on that bandwagon of like hating on Disney adults in 2020. But I'm like, after observing them, they have something that a lot of us don't have, and that is
Joy?
joy.
Yeah.
And like specifically, just like joy about like the simple things in life.
Absolutely.
Like someone dressed up as Mickey Mouse. Like,
Yeah.
I wish I could lose my shit the way they do when they see an adult dressed up as Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're just happy people.
They're just,
They're just living their life.
like pleasing their inner child. Like,
Yeah.
and that's the thing.
Oh my
We're
God.
all meant
Talk
to
about-
be like little children, right? Like,
Well, and like therapy is telling us to heal our inner child. No one has healed their inner child more than a Disney adult.
That's so true.
I
They
agree.
are the poster child for healing your inner child.
The main thing about Disney adults that I'm not into is when they turn Disney into like everything about their life. Like,
Oh, I'm
it's
here for
their
it.
home decor. I'm like judging Brittany. Like, no, I don't.
Oh, I
care too
don't
much.
personally have that. I'm like a mild Disney adult.
Like,
but
if you buy Disney merch, like you love Disney shirts, like all the things, I think they're fun to indulge in. But I'm also like, you don't need, like, I am full on Disney adult when I'm at Disneyland. And then when
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm just kind of like, I'm chilling. I
But-
like it. It's cool.
That's the thing that's great about being a Disney adult is that Disney is everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's not
Yeah.
like, oh, they're only happy when they go to Disneyland. They're happy.
They're
every
happy all the
they
time.
walk into their home and they see like their minivan with that has like the Mickey Mouse stickers.
Yeah.
and, like to show off their family. You know those like family stickers.
Uh-huh.
It's all like Mickey Mouse.
Totally.
things? Yeah.
That's how you
Yeah.
cure depression. Honestly.
I think so.
Become a Disney adult.
honestly,
Yeah.
that's we don't even have to talk about how to be not lonely. That's
No.
the
Yeah, I think we just
be a
solved
Disney
everything.
adult. Go to Disney. There we go. Episode over.
Yeah.
Amen. You're welcome.
No, I agree. I want to go to Disney. I want to do the Disney races. I was just talking to one of my friends about that. And what they do is you can either do individual races. So they'll have them like back-to-back days. So like the first day is a 5K, then 10K, then half, and then a marathon, or they stop at half. But you can also pay for like the one in January. I think it's called the Dopey Challenge, and you do all 4 of them. So you do the 5K, then the 10, then the half, then the marathon. There's a princess one in next February. And so I kind of want to do it. It just goes up to a half marathon, but then you get like medals for all of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds so fun.
Yeah.
a
And I feel
half
like running
marathon
through
and then-
Disneyland would be fun. Or Disney,
Yes.
whatever it is.
They do them at either. Disney World seems a little more fun because you're in the parks the whole time.
Yeah.
Whereas Disneyland, especially like their half marathon and their marathon, you usually are running through Anaheim and then end in the parks, which is still fun. But I'm like,
Not as fun.
yeah, it feels like it would be really fun to do that like fully in the parks.
For
So
sure.
I really want to look into doing the one next February, the Princess Run. Because also,
sounds
that's
so
so
fun.
cute. I know, I was talking to one of my coworkers. I was like, we could totally make a girls' trip out of it. That would be
Atlas
so
would
fun.
love to join you on that.
Yeah, she can come.
She'll
as long
dress
as she
up
can
like a
run half
princess.
marathon.
She loves to run and she loves
Absolutely. Everything she loves.
She just has to be able to do a 16-minute mile, or else she will get swept off.
I think
basically.
she's faster than all
So.
of us.
Is it a half marathon or a marathon?
The princess one, the highest is a half.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can do a 5K, 10K, and then a half.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The one in January goes up to a marathon. But
Oh, okay.
I've been seeing a lot of content on TikTok of people who are like, my friends are running a half marathon today and I've never run before, but I'm going to prove to them that it's not that hard because they've been spending months training for it.
did you see the
I
guy?
saw that TikTok. The guy running, was it in like Central Park or
Yep.
something?
Maybe,
I
yeah.
watched it
Okay,
yesterday.
He's a liar, a liar. His Strava says that he ran like a 20K run before.
Oh, well,
Like-
I mean, maybe he does it every once in a while.
But like he
The way
framed
he
it
made
as
it
if, like,
seem-
Yeah, he's never
ran
run in his
before.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've
Like,
been
I
getting a lot of
do-
those. It's so funny.
I was like, oh my gosh. And he did so well.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
like,
I'm
yeah,
like,
you know, you're definitely someone who's ran
your
before.
slowest was a 13-minute mile?
Yeah.
Excuse
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
You don't look like
No,
you're dying?
I was watching that and I was like, this feels wrong. Or you're just like at least a generally healthy.
Yeah, like
and
maybe
fit
you do a
person.
lot of
Or
cardio.
you're involved in some other
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, there's no way someone who like doesn't have some base level of fitness
Yeah.
can go out, not train at all, have 7 drinks the night before,
Yeah.
and run a half marathon in like, wasn't it like 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
I think it was less.
It's like, that's shocking.
Yeah, no. It was 2 hours 32 minutes, and I'm like, that was according to my Garmin. That was how fast my half marathon was, and I trained for months. and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god,
You're like,
What
I
is it?
hate you.
Crazy.
You know, the content I've been loving to see is slow runners posting their mile times and everything and being like they typically range between like 11 to 13 minutes and just posting like, I'm just like, I want to normalize, like not everyone has a 7-minute mile.
Do you follow Realistic Runner?
I think so, actually.
Yeah, she does like, I think she averages like 13 to 15 minute miles. Like,
Yeah. I love that.
And then the other
Yeah.
video I recently saw that I love so much was this guy doing a marathon in France, and after every mile, it was one glass of wine for every mile that he ran, and it wasn't a full glass; it was like maybe an ounce or two.
Yeah.
Where he was like tasting it, and he had to guess where it was from and what the type was. So it's like some sort of sommelier or whatever. But it was so funny because, yeah, by the mile 26, he was just
oh
like,
my gosh.
like you could see it. And I'm like, how can you be running
not
and
imagine.
drinking at the same time?
No.
It's crazy.
That's wild.
It's so
That's
funny.
so wild. Dang. I will say I love running. 2 weeks in, it's great. Don't know why I didn't start earlier. But I do need to stretch more.
Me too.
Oops.
You know what running is so great for, though, that I do agree with this. I don't like running very much, but the one thing it's great for in my mind is like learning how to be alone with your thoughts.
Ooh,
Because I feel like it is a perfect passive activity that like you like obviously a lot of people listen to music or a podcast or something like that, but sometimes it's similar to like driving in the car. Sometimes I don't listen to anything in the car because it's just kind of nice to like do something but not at the same time, and then you just get to think.
Yeah.
And then that's where all my thinking happens, is on drives and working out, or like I don't run, but if I were to, running.
Yeah. No, it's definitely sorry. So good for like your mental health. And like, yeah.
Sorry, you go ahead.
No, you're good. I didn't have anything else to say.
I also believe that like the more you move your body, the clearer your thoughts are as well.
Totally.
And so, I don't know, I always have the best thoughts on a run.
The best epiphanies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
go to like therapy sessions with myself. Like, I'll be like, why do you care about validation from this specific person? And then I'll like realize the answer, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm genius.
Okay, I love that segue. This may not perfectly flow into what we were kind of thinking for the flow, but anyways, while researching and looking up like loneliness, all of that in preparation for this episode, I saw this girl who said that she will basically like when she is feeling lonely or feeling just like not great about herself, anything, she basically, instead of like journaling or talking to herself in the mirror, doing something like that, she will record a video of herself talking to herself. And she's like, some of these videos are like 30 to 40 minutes long. And she basically pretends that she's like FaceTiming someone and that she will, hi Winnie, she will get to the point where she like has these realizations and she'll start to be like, oh, this is really what's going on or something like that. And I thought it was so interesting.
I love that so much.
Yeah. But it's kind of like the same thing of like having a way to like almost like therapy yourself or just talk to yourself.
Yeah. If you don't have anyone to talk to, like talk to yourself. I love it.
Yeah.
Do you guys like spending time by yourself?
Now, yes. Now I love it at the point in my life that I'm in. In college, oof. I feel like...
Why not in college?
So I think especially my first year, I wasn't like living with friends. I was living with my grandma and she would travel every other week. And so I just did have a lot of time alone. And I think I was at that phase of my life where like I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. And I felt like being alone meant that there was something wrong with me. And now I have the clarity to know like that's not true at all. But I think it was really hard. And especially like even as like college went on and stuff, and like not that being alone means you're like not in a relationship, but like for me that was a big part of it. Like I wasn't really ever in a relationship that wasn't super toxic in college. And like a lot of like my close friends were, which is great, but I think it did lead to me feeling alone a lot of times, even if I was with people too. And now I'm kind of at the point, and I'm sure again being in a very healthy relationship helps with that, but like even since dating Scott, like especially during like COVID, there was definitely times where I felt super lonely and like felt like I didn't like have close friends or something, or even when I was with people I didn't feel like I was. And I think at this point of my life I have found ways to just really enjoy the time that I do have alone. And I think obviously I'm in a relationship. I also work with people. So like my day job, I am with people constantly. So I get a lot of that, but it's made me really appreciate and almost enjoy the times when I do get to like go on a run alone or drive in the car alone or just do things just myself. Cause it's like, oh, I used to get all of this time on my own and I didn't really take advantage of it. So now I want to. And I want to get that time with myself to be like, oh, what's going on with me? Like, where's the check-in for myself? Like, how am I feeling? So those are my thoughts.
Interesting. I feel like the times I don't know, I go back and forth between whether I like it or whether I don't. And a few months ago, so like I don't know if I shared this much at all on here or like with you guys. I think I did, but I don't know. A few months ago, like sometime in November or something like that, that was like the worst of the worst for me in terms of like my anxiety, and I was having like regular panic attacks and everything like that. And that was a time where I could not be alone. Like if I was alone, I was having a panic attack because it gave me like all of a sudden a moment to like start thinking about everything and like letting my thoughts race and everything like that. I like literally I had to be distracted 24/7 in order to feel like I could be normal, because the second I like even sitting down for lunch and eating was like causing me to go off the rails. So that was a time where I was so busy. I was working so much. We were like planning so many things with like friends and family. It was the holidays. Like we had something going on every single day. I was constantly around people. And obviously I felt very like loved by everybody, all of my friends, all my family that I was with. But like I was using all of those things as like the biggest distraction so that I wouldn't have to like be by myself and be with my thoughts and everything like that, because it like so scared me. Like I was terrified to even like take a shower or anything like that. So and it's funny because in those moments it's like I'm having fun, I feel like happy in the sense that I'm distracted, so I'm like calm, but underneath it all I was like also I'm so alone because like nobody can see anything and I'm not talking to anybody about this. Like why would I want to? Nobody like actually knows what's going on inside, and so I'm like I'm all alone. Nobody understands, nobody gets me. Like that was the hardest period of like my life I think so far that I can think of where I felt that. So but now being on the other side of that after like months of therapy and like working on this, it's like I love being alone and I love being by myself, and I'm like now trying to rediscover myself in those ways, and the only ways I can do it is if I like eliminate those distractions, because those distractions are preventing me from being able to like think and just have like that clarity. So it's like there was a time and a place for them, like they served their purpose. But I'm also like, oh, I love like being quiet and I love like doing nothing for a while.
What in therapy did your like therapist kind of coach you through that, like how to be alone with your thoughts?
Not really. It kind of just came naturally. Like as we kind of tried to get down to the root of like what I was experiencing. And I don't really know if we really know like this panic attack is caused by this, so we're going to work on that. It was more of just like everything in my life had built up so much that I could no longer suppress everything I was feeling, and it was like boiling over. And so as we started to work on like things from my childhood and like memories that I have and stuff like that, then it kind of started to like dwindle, go away. And in the process, I'm also learning like emotional intelligence, how to be able to like talk about my feelings and learn about like what it is that I'm feeling, and maybe something that what do I like to do when I am feeling this way or something like that, instead of just repressing them.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like just like having like a safe space to like kind of share your feelings kind of like healed that part, because you were, like you said, like suppressing it for so long, so that like when you were by yourself you would have all these thoughts and you're like, I don't know what to do with these thoughts. But like being in a safe place like with the therapist it gave you like a safe outlet.
Totally. Like, I think there are some things that, like, some thoughts, I mean, you're scared of your own thoughts, and you're scared, like, I can't tell anybody about these things because, like, it's spiraling, intrusive thoughts. They're not, like, anything I want anyone to know about, but I also have to get them out. So having, like, a therapist be unrelated to anybody you associate with, it's like, okay, you're not going to judge me. I'm not hurting your feelings. So I'm paying you. Yeah, that's part of it. And then the other part is just that it, like, the reprocessing of those feelings and those thoughts as well.
I think having therapy is obviously like ideal option. I know like there's definitely been moments it's helped me so much, and especially for reprocessing things, I do think it's really important to talk to a professional. But if it is something more of like maybe just your life circumstances, you're feeling a little lonelier, or you just even want to like create more independence for yourself, maybe you feel like you're in a good spot, but you want to like transition into doing stuff more on your own and like having that be something you look forward to rather than like dread. What are some of the things that like you guys have found a lot of joy in doing independently?
So before I get into that, I just want to say like if therapy is not like an option for you, sometimes you just need your feelings to be validated, like
Totally.
and sometimes like you can't do it yourself. So I would recommend like right now, like I'm going through stuff in my life, so I go to like these free support groups, or you can also find like Facebook groups or something, or an online community or something, just something to where like you can relate to people and your feelings are validated. Because sometimes that's all we need. Sometimes that's what's blocking us from like being by ourselves.
Well, and I think knowing that someone else is going through it you are is so validating in itself. Like I know, just as an example, a lot of people who like leave the church or like leave any religion will join like Facebook groups or listen to a podcast or do something where it's like, oh, you're dealing with what I'm dealing with. I'm not crazy. Like, this is a very relatable emotion. And that is the same. Like, there are support groups for everything. Like, I remember when the doctor told me I had PCOS, they were like, go join a support group. Like, figure out what other people do. She's like, even if you're not like struggling mentally with it, like, just to find out what other people do to deal with it. Like, any support from people who deal with the same things as you is going to help.
Yeah. And I think like the majority of people that I have ever talked to in life, our first instinct when we feel an emotion is to like ignore it, repress it, and try to like, okay, I'm sad, whatever, I'm sad. Like, we're just going to push that off to the side and pretend it's not there and it'll go away. And like something that I have learned, especially in talking with my sister, is like you have to feel and like fully process your emotions completely in order to actually move on from them and for your body to like let that go. And for so many people, especially people who are not comfortable with like feeling emotions, they don't even want to accept that they are feeling some type of way. So like if you are validated in your emotion, you can also accept that like, okay, I am feeling this way. Like, not only is this relatable for other people, but it's also like, yes, it is what I'm feeling, and I can accept that. I can accept that I'm angry, or I can accept that I'm feeling like lost and confused because of this thing. And now that I've accepted that, we can like move through that emotion and keep going.
Totally.
So sorry, back to the original question.
Yes.
How can you like build up that like independence and like be by yourself? I don't know. This one is like hard for me because when I was a teen, like the second I got my license, I loved going out by myself, just like listening to music. And now in like my personal life, like I'm kind of going through it right now. And so like it kind of similar to what Abby was talking about, or no, maybe it was Brittany. Kind of like this sentiment that like no one understands me. But also, like, something I'm feeling right now is, like, I feel like I don't even understand me. So it's like this like internal and external loneliness. But something that I like to do is like I'll have fake conversations a lot in my head. And sometimes that can be really like anxiety inducing. So sometimes I'll just have like fake conversations about our podcast, like whatever we're going to talk about. And it's just like light and happy. And then I'll go and I'll put music in and then I'll go like shopping because that's like something that I like to do. Or like this is like very superficial, but like when I go shopping, I'll like look at a piece and like plan an outfit. And so that way it's like
cute.
my mind isn't like thinking about whatever is making me stressed or angry or whatever. I'm like, it's like I have a plan in action for like what my thoughts are going to be, and I'm doing an activity that I enjoy.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that doing activities that you just genuinely love is what's so important. Like, of course, right now my thoughts go to like running, going, like reading a book that I love, or like things like that. But it's like, it's because I genuinely just enjoy those things so much. Like I could do that on my own for hours and be so content. Whereas like if I were to try to, I don't even know. I can't think of an example right now, but if you were like, oh, this is what makes me, or even like shopping, for example, like I actually don't really like shopping in a store very much anymore. So if I were to think about doing that, I'd be like, ugh, I'm just like, it's not going to help me feel any better. Because I'm just going to be like, okay, cool, I'm shopping on my own. But that's just because it's not something that like right now in my life makes me feel super fulfilled. And so, which is totally fine.
And
and I think that's why it's so important.
Changes in phases of life, like different things make you happy at different times, and that's okay.
Yeah.
One thing I'm like really trying to, one thing I think about a lot is if Atlas were to feel some sort of emotion, how do I teach it to her to process that and then like do that to myself? So a lot of times like if Atlas is sad because I told her you can't do something or whatever, and she tells me, like she'll say like I'm just sad right now, and I think a lot of like back to maybe my childhood or whatever, maybe parents' first instincts would be like, well, don't be sad, like you're okay. And so instead of telling myself don't be sad, you're fine, be like, I tell her like, why are you sad? Like, okay, like, do you want to feel happy right now, or do you want to like be sad for a little bit? And when you are sad, not being like, what will make you happy? What will make you feel better? Like sometimes the goal isn't to feel better. I'll be like, what do you like to do when you're sad? Do you like to watch a show? Do you like to eat a treat? Do you like what makes like, what is an activity that you want to do while you're sad so that you can like feel this emotion? So I kind of like almost try to train myself in that way. If there is something that is like, could be sadness, could be any sort of emotion, anxiety, frustration, like anger, and just be like, okay, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? Do I want to feel better, or do I want to sit with this? Like, do I want to distract myself? Do I need to get something done? Like, and go about it in that way versus just being like, stop being angry, I'm fine. Stop being lost, like, I'm fine, you know? Stop feeling like you're alone, you have a family, you're fine. Like, you know?
Well, and I think it's so instinct to just try and repress and try and be like, nope, we don't need to feel that way. Like, it's fine. But it is so beneficial to just like sit with those emotions and get to the root of it, or at least try to. And then, like you said, like, do I want to do something about this, or do I want to just sit with this emotion for a little bit? And like, that's okay too. I've been trying to do a meditation every morning the last like couple weeks. And this morning, just in prep for this, I did like a when you're feeling lonely one. And the guy basically just said, he was like, let's start by like sitting up tall, like feel the strength in your back, and like kind of like realize that like, one, you're really strong, like you have what you need. And so it was like, oh, you're right, like I am great. But then he started talking about like trying to feel where you feel your loneliness. And of course, for me in that moment, I was like, I'm more doing this like research based. Like I don't personally feel lonely in this moment, but I was like kind of just imagining it. And he's like, these are some of my recommendations for like breathing through it. And he even came to a point where he's like, if you're in a place though where this is too overwhelming for you and you are feeling too lonely or too much of something, like that's okay too. Just listen and remember this for later when you're in a better headspace. And for now, just focus on breathing. Like, and it was so simple that I was like, oh my gosh, like if I would have had this meditation in college when I was like in my loneliest moments, like I really think it would have helped to just like have someone else telling me, like, just sit with it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, why are you feeling this way? Like, there's part of you that's trying to take care of you. Like, there's part of you feeling this way for a reason. Instead of ignoring that and just being like, nope, I don't want to let that version of Brittany take care of Brittany right now. What is she trying to do? What is she trying to help? Why is she trying to do this? So,
Well, and I think also kind of analyzing like, okay, when I feel lonely, what is my initial response?
totally.
Like for me, I can kind of, it sounds counterintuitive, but like I can kind of like retreat within myself and just like, I just want to like lay in bed all day. And so like recognizing, oh, laying in bed all day doesn't solve the problem if I'm looking for a solution. So like what can I do instead? And like acknowledging like, okay, this is my pattern. How do I break this pattern?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something I was seeing a lot about too is finding like a third place. So like you have your home, you have work, school, whatever that is, and then another place that's like a safe place to you. And I feel like for me, that has become like almost just like outside, like whether it's going on a walk with Winnie or like Pilates. So it's not like a specific place, but it's like, it really is nice because like, yeah, like last week there was a day where, or 2 weeks ago, where I was pretty anxious and I was like, I'm just gonna go on a walk, like I just need to not be here. And it really did help. Like simple things like that make such a difference.
Oh, I love the outside. Sometimes the sun is the best cure for me ever. Yeah. The interesting thing too is I feel like there are different versions of loneliness. Like I have had times in my life where I feel lonely because I don't feel like I have friends and I want to do things with people and I love experiencing things with people, but I have nobody to ask. And then there are times in my life where I feel lonely because maybe I wasn't in a relationship and I just wanted somebody to like feel love with. And then I felt lonely because I do have all those things, but I still just don't feel like understood and valued from like some people around me. So there's like so many different versions of this, and depending on like your phase of life, I think everyone kind of feels that way and goes through that in different ways. And like I think for me in college, I had such a hard time because I was uncomfortable with like going to do an activity by myself. I wanted to go to a movie, but nobody wanted to go with me. How do I do that? Like that would be me learning how to start doing activities by myself, which is like such a hard thing for people who are so social to learn sometimes.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things with like trying to do stuff on your own is starting small and just ripping the Band-Aid off, which is so hard to do, like way easier said than done. But like, even though it's a longer thing, like maybe starting with a movie is the way to go. Cause like realistically, you're sitting there alone the whole time. And so it's like you're sitting in the dark, you can get a nice little snack. Whereas like, and no one's going to see you.
Yep.
Whereas if you start with like going to dinner by yourself at like a sit down restaurant, it's like, how intimidating.
Oh my
Like,
gosh. I did that one time, like when I was traveling for work and I'm like in a restaurant and I wanted to go out because I'm like, I'm in California. This is fun. I went out to like this pizza place and I was sitting all by myself and I was like, I feel so weird.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to order in and like sit in my hotel room and be sad. It was just so strange. But yeah. Those experiences can be hard.
When I went to New York, I just felt like when I went into a sit-down restaurant, I'm like, everyone is looking at me. I'm sitting by myself, but it's like, I don't know anyone here.
Yeah,
like,
who cares?
And also because I was by myself, I like cut the line. It was like an hour wait, and I only had to wait like 20 minutes. So
That's
Yeah.
so nice. Well, and it's like realistically, they probably aren't thinking anything of it. They're probably not looking at you. And if they are, you don't know them anyways, and you're probably never going to see them again. So
Yeah.
what is it
Yeah.
really? But it's so hard to like rationalize that. So
But here's what I was thinking about, like, in terms of going on solo dates and, like, dating yourself. Because especially now with, like, technology and social media and everything, it can be so easy to be like, I'm going to go grab dinner by myself. And then I'm going to sit on TikTok so that I feel less lonely. And I'm just going to scroll for an hour while I eat. And I'm not going to be, like, you know, embarrassed. But that's like not the point. That like almost
the
makes
point
the
is to
problem
be with
worse.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking like, okay, if we're doing dates with ourselves, whatever. What is like a date? What do you do on a date? What's the purpose of a date, right? And like when you're dating somebody, whether it's like a partner or even going on a date with like a friend, you're doing that to like become closer with them, to learn more about them, to like hear what's going on in their head and like what's going on in their life and stuff like that. And so if you go on a date with yourself, I'm like, I think you should ask yourselves those same questions and like have that conversation in your head in the same way. Like you wouldn't take out your phone and like be texting other people and be scrolling on social media. You would put your phone in your purse, you would not touch it for the whole night, and you would talk to that person and focus on that person. And like that is something I've been trying so consciously to like think about. It's like if I'm going to go grab a bite to eat or if I'm going to go get a coffee before I like start my work day, I'm going to do it like putting technology away and like focusing on myself.
Yeah. Just being intentional.
Yeah.
So basically everyone should just tell us their favorite thing to do on their own and how they date themselves.
yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah.
But this is so fun. I love talking about stuff like this.
Me too.
Yeah.
What are some like quick things that you guys think about, just like rapid fire? Like if someone were to say, I want to go do something on my own, or if you were to even say like, I want to go on a solo date, what is something you think about?
I know this isn't always like realistic, but like really going on a solo trip by yourself. And I know like money is like, I don't know, finances are crazy right now. So it's like if you can't afford to like go somewhere, like go to a new part of town or a part of town that you've like never been to before or something like. Or the other thing I like to do is like going and like trying something new by myself, whether it's like trying new food or trying a new museum or something, like try something new or get into a new hobby.
That's pretty much what I was going to say is like, if there's like a restaurant you really want to try, just go try it on your own. Or if there's a movie you want to see, just go do it. Like, just think of what do you want to do and go do it.
Yeah. I also think like I have been dying like to go out to like the lake recently and like to the river. I'm like, I would just want to paddleboard the river by myself, which like kind of sounds scary, or like solo hiking, like doing an activity I love. And I have found like to love more with the people in my life, like with my family and Andrew, who likes doing these things too. I'm like, sometimes I kind of just want to do it by myself, you know?
Yeah.
Right. There's a time and place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't wait for other people to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
That's the theme.
I also think doing like an activity that does involve other people, like meeting new people, which can seem so scary, but like taking a workout class, like a yoga class or a Pilates class, and being able to focus on the people around you and be like, no, I actually want to actively make an effort in this community. Or maybe like taking a painting class and being like, I'm just going to go and like chat with the people painting around me. Like, who cares, you know? That can seem so intimidating, especially if you have social anxiety, but those like seem like fun things to do.
Go to a bar.
Totally.
Yeah.
You
Just do
can find
anything on your
friends.
own. I love it. These are all such great ideas.
Well, I can't remember what I was going to say.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Sorry.
It's so my fault.
I
no,
do
you're good.
have to go though.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like
you're
I'm
good.
running so late.
You're good. You're good.
So sorry everyone, but we're gonna end here for the week.
Yeah.
But come back every Monday. We love you all so much. Winnie's here to say goodbye as well.
Bye, Winnie.
And you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all the things at BZ's Podcast.
Amazing.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye.